around the nation in reference to human trafficking. Continue our conversation, Ms. Greenlee.
Yes, Dr. Haney, I have three 13-year-old nieces, and I'm scared to death that if I don't stay in their life and in their face it talking about sex trafficking and men's and what they're choosing to do, I'm afraid I will lose them. So we have two organizations other than the Magdalene program. We have two organizations that's out here trying to reach the sex trafficking youth as we speak. And one is called One Less, and the other one is called End Slavery. Now, it's new to Tennessee, but they have stepped out to do something. Magdalene was the only organization that really stepped out there. Magdalene is just one organization that can hold so many. But it is so many young ladies out here that's being trapped already. It's so many phone calls that I get from 14-year-olds and 13-year-olds, and majority of them start out in saying, he tricked me. You know, he took me out like he cared for me, like he loved me. And once we got there, he said, I owe you, and you're going to repay me like this, and this is how you have to repay me. Now, when they started threatening your family, doing something to your sister, I know where your mama work at, I know what school your brother go to, but then you traumatized. A lot of people say, why didn't you tell it? Well, if I told it and something happened to either one of my family members that they said they were going to do something to, then I'm automatically traumatized for the rest of my life. Also, you get to see them beat another little girl or another young lady in front of you. So if you already saw that, you already know what's going to happen. I got an 8-inch stab wound in my back now. I don't know how many scars in my head for trying to get away, for trying to run away. And so it didn't work for me. So that made me like, I'm not going to be able to tell anything else. So I just want I want everybody to know that you got to quit turning your head. You got to quit saying, it don't happen here, it's just in India, Cambodia. It is right in your backyard. And the story in Cincinnati, Ohio, if everybody remember that, them 3 girls that was in that basement for 10 straight years, if everybody remember that story, it'll tell you that it's definitely in your backyard. And so I just want people to really understand that they have to talk about this. I'm willing to talk to anybody. I'm willing to share my story. I'm willing to come and speak anywhere. All they have to do is just call me up, 615-589-8984. And I'll come anywhere, because not only are they asking for the girls, they're asking for the little boys. So when I was in Louisiana, one of the clerks, workers had went online and ordered a 10-year-old boy. And this is why we was opening this subject, because this is not just a can of worms. This is a conversation and a concern for the entire state of Tennessee.
And so people are able to order children by way of the internet. Men are able to order young boys and young girls and et cetera, simply with a click of the mouse.
Yes.
Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
That's how prevalent it is now, and how widespread.
Yeah, everybody know about the page called Backspace, Backpage. That's for the girls. And then you got a gay page that they go on for the little boys. And they order them and say how old they want them to be, what color hair they want them to be, how much they want them to weigh. And the guy actually showed up at the hotel with $200, 5 condoms, a date rape drug, and a lubricant. He actually showed up for a 10-year-old boy, and this man worked for the feds. So it's like, it's not just no pimping game. This is a government issue, and they are covering it up, and they know that they can do something about this sex trafficking if they wanted to. You got drug trafficking, gun trafficking, and sex trafficking. Well, the drug trafficking is #1, the sex trafficking #2, and then the guns. See, the guns was #2, but now they selling people more than they are guns.
And from what I understand, this is a real problem with youth. When you mention drugs, alcohol, and sex, that's one of the areas where many of our young people, our teenagers, are caught up in one of the more detrimental areas of their lives. When they get involved in drugs, sex, and guns.
Yes.
Is that what we're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I've been gone for 18 months in New Orleans, and this is why I'm back on your set, letting people know I'm back. I'm hitting the streets. I'm coming after my young girls. I'm coming after my young boys. It ain't about violence. It's about protecting them, period. I've already had a phone call from several young girls telling me that they went to the hotel with their boyfriend because they thought they loved them, and when they got there, it was other men in there waiting for them that they have already paid for to have these these kind of sex activities with these little girls. They are getting caught up once they turn me onto that X pill or that bar or that crack or the heroin that's coming out now. The new heroin is coming back. Once they get the young girls on that right there, then they on their way to being sold as slaves.
We've got to do more, you think, as a community and as a society in reference to this, Ms. Greenlee.
Yes.
Having had a chance to work, what would you suggest that we do in terms of trying to get a handle on this?
Number one, I suggest the subject start happening in church, the subject start being talked about in schools, and the subject start being talked about in libraries, because those are the three places where they all are gathered at. And I know people don't want to talk about sex in church, but you need to talk about sex in church. You need to talk about sex trafficking. It's right next door. All of these black girls that are missing has not ran away from home. And I'm not just throwing it on a racial thing, but you tend to look for more other colors, like India or white or Latino or something. You tend to look for them more than you do black. If you go on black page, black girls missing, you'll see a bunch of us missing. So why nobody looking for them? How we know they're not tied up? How we know they're not in the basement gagged up and shot up for the dope and can't scream? Because for a long time I was gagged up, I was shot up for the dope, and I couldn't scream.
And so this is a real problem, and that what we're doing now is to simply try to highlight that and make people much more aware of it. And I have to admit that this is an eye-opener to me. Of course, I've heard of sex trafficking and, here and there, but I didn't know it was such an industry. And you were saying that it is a real industry, and people are making a lot of money, and a lot of folks are getting hurt in reference to it, and et cetera. And I think you mentioned the problem down in Louisiana, where the government is actually changing things in such a way that's detrimental to young girls more than anything else. Is that what we're?
Yes, he had made the laws stricter for the perpetrators now and the pimps. Like I said, the pimps is not in an afro and a Cadillac anymore. And he changed the law so tough that he flew me back down to stand there with him while he signed the new law and gave me a copy of it with the ink pen. So I was really proud of that. So whatever I was saying to him, it rests his ears, but more than anything, it rests his heart. He might have daughters himself or granddaughters, and it gave him something to think about. So now, if we done this in Louisiana, we need to do it in Tennessee, and this is what I'm here to talk about. I got both ends of the story. I got sex trafficking and I got youth violence, and I'm done with just talking about it. I want to be about it.